Hi, this is Heather from Strings and Threads. I'm very excited to share with you this item that I have made, and I'd like to share the pattern with you. This is my collector's Surrian doll, and she is just so precious, so sweet. She's fairly large. I believe I measured her at somewhere around 20 inches, give or take a couple inches. She has hair all the way around. And she's just a beautiful doll to have on display or for somebody to play with. If there's somebody who still likes to play with dolls and would like to play with her, she's up for that too. But she is very pretty. And I'm in the process of designing a special line of clothing for her as well. So I'll do some videos on that. And if you want to look for any of these written patterns, they are up on Etsy under Strings and Threads if you want the written pattern. But if you'd like to just follow along with the video, that's fine too, or just to have both for reference. There's no right or wrong way to attach the eyes or spacing between the eyes. I tend to think that when the eyes are spaced a little bit farther apart, the doll looks a lot cuter. Now on this doll, her eyes are about 2.5 inches apart. So that's kind of what I'm going to go for with this next doll. So I find a space where where I've been stitching is in the back, and then I make the other side the front and just put one of the eyes in. And then measure over. 2.5 inches. Put my hook in there, and then I would attach in there. I'm actually going to move this side because I think I have it a little bit low, but that's how you would do it. You put the one eye in, you measure as far over as you want. It doesn't have to be 2.5 inches, but here's how it looks at 2.5 inches, and I just happen to like that look. And then put your crochet hook in there to mark where you want to put the second eye. All right, for the nose, I have a yarn needle and just a knotted piece of yarn where I come in through the middle, somewhere between the two eyes. And it's okay if it's not perfect. And unfortunately, there's not like really a good way to teach this. I can show you what I do. I just kind of do my best to try and make a button nose. You can kind of watch how I do it. You can do it your way. If you have a better way of doing noses, please let me know in the description. At this point, I want to try and squish a little bit together to give it a little bit of a circular feel. So you can see how I'm pulling through. And then I'm gonna pull it tight and come in on the top and go top to bottom. And the nose is actually kind of subtle. Pull it tight, go into the side, pull it tight. You can see how it's kind of making a little circular little button nose type thing. Side and up and down are pretty good. I'm probably going to just do one more. I'll do bottom to top. And then go back in. And finish it. Now she has a nose. It's just subtle, but it's actually enough. When you see the whole thing together, you'll see that it's enough. The next thing I put on are the eyebrows. I always match the eyebrows to the hair color, but you're certainly welcome to use whatever color combination you desire. This one, I was going to try this Surrian out with blonde hair. So I'm going to use the blonde color for the eyebrows. You can make the eyebrows any shape you want. I tried not to make her look mad, so I kind of do more like on the outside. Some of this you take artistic license for, so it's really hard to describe both in, verbal and written words. And I come over here and I put the second eyebrow on. And something I do to finish it, you don't have to do this, this is just a little trick, and it wouldn't be in the written directions that I have. But if you wanted to add an extra strand of hair, if you're using the same hair color, you can just come up through the top, and whatever you have left, you can just save for hair. And if it's really long, you can trim it later. If it's short, it won't matter, it'll just blend in with the other hairs. So there's what I have. The next thing I put on is the mouth. Now I'm going to admit that mouths are not my specialty. So typically I just find whatever yarn color I want and I just put one or two lines right here for a mouth. If you have suggestions for better ways to do a mouth, I would certainly love to hear in the comments below. But if you just want to follow what I do, and by the way, I want you to notice that I have not detached or finished off the head. We're going to keep going with it. So it's still attached to the body yarn. So I just had this pink here. I had some red, but I thought it looked way too extreme. So I just kind of use my yarn needle. That might even be too big because well, that'll be okay, I think. Maybe I'll do one more line to make the lips a little bit fuller, even though this is definitely very thin. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave her lips like this. All right, I just stuffed the head. This is an optional thing that you can do, and it's certainly something I would never include in written directions because I'm not sure how I would explain that. But if you look at this original Surrian doll, the first one I did, her eyes are actually sunken in a little bit. And there is something that you can do to make them look like that. If you're perfectly happy with the eyes looking like this, you can leave them. But if you want the eyes to sink in a little bit, I don't know why, but I just really like the way that that looks. You can get the skin color and knot the end, and you're going to go under the eye. I want to find the right spot where I'm in as far as I can get and bring the yarn needle out the back of the head. Oops, now that pulled out, so I didn't have the knot big enough. I'm going to put another knot in and then come back. Okay, I made a new knot. I already pulled it through, and then you pull it tight and it draws the eyes back. Looks a little bit weird right now, but in the back, so I don't have to rethread a second one and try again, I come in close by, come up through the back of the second eye. It might take a couple of tries to see where you are. So I get it pretty close to the eye. I'm going to pull tight, come up under the eye, you know, in enough space where you're going into another piece of yarn. Go out the back of the head again, and then pull it tight. Here's how it looks stuffed. Here's the foot. We need to create a heel. So you're going to chain 1 and then do 2 single crochets in the first 5 stitches. So that's 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches around. We're building up a heel here. That's why we're only doing it in the first 5 stitches. I'll come back when I'm ready. I came all the way across. So for this next row, I'm going to chain 1, and it'll be 2 single crochets in the first 10 stitches, and then 1 single crochet in the rest around. I'll come back when that's done. Here's how this turned out. You can see the heel is really getting built out, so now we need to bring it back. So I'll chain 1. I'm going to do 2 together, and then 1. I'm going to do that 7 more times. Still need the 1. So 2 together here and 1. That'll be 1, and then I do that 6 more times. 2 together and 1. I need 5 more times. 2 together and 1. 4 more times. 2 together and 1. 3 more times. 2 together and 1. 2 together and 1, and now just 1 more time. Oops. 2 together and 1, and now I'm just going to single crochet the rest of the way around. I'll come back when that's done. All right, here I'm going to chain 1, and now 6 times total I'm going to single crochet 2 together and do 1, 2 together and 1. That was 2, 2 together and 1. That's 3, 2 together and 1. That's 4, 2 together and 1. That's 5, 2 together and 1 is 6, and I'm just going to single crochet the rest of the way around. Okay, I came all the way around, chained 1 already. So now we'll do 4 times total of single crocheting 2 together, single crochet in the next, 2 together, 1 in the next. All right, so we'll do that 2 more times and then single crochet the rest of the way around and then attach up. All right, you can really start seeing the heel now. But now we have to build this bottom part up to catch up with this. And the way that we're going to do that is, at this point, we're going to chain 2 and do double crochets in the first 6 stitches. 2. That will build up the back part of the leg. the 6, this is my 6th one right here, we're going to single crochet the rest of the row. And I'll come back when I have that done. It's really starting to look like a foot now. So we're going to do the same thing for 2 more rows. Double crochet 6, single crochet the rest of the row, double crochet 6, single crochet the rest of the row. I'll come back when I've done that 2 more times. As you can see, I have 3 rows total where there's part of the row, the 6 stitches are double crochet, and then you single crochet in the front, and you can see now that it really is like a foot on a leg. So for the next 20 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So do that for 20 rows, and then that's the entire leg. One thing you do want to do is make sure you're stuffing it along the way, especially I need to get in there now. It's really hard to get to the heel if you build it up too long. All right, I'm gonna show you the hair. Now you're gonna have to stay with me for this. It's a little bit tricky, and the way I do it might be a little tricky, but I think just hear me all the way out and it'll all be fine, because it's gonna seem weird. So the first thing to do, I just have a file folder here, but it can be basically anything that's any length that you would want the hair to be. I start here, and then I just wrap the yarn around it, and I will come back to show you how much should be on there. All right, hopefully you can see, basically have the whole thing filled up. You're gonna take one end only and cut it. And I'll come back when it's cut, because I'm gonna need both of my hands here to do it. I'll come back. All right, here's the final product of this. So I'm gonna lay it down. Please stick with me. What I do next is gonna seem really weird, but this has been the way that I've put hair on, and it works for me. If you know a better way, please by all means put the hair on the way that you think would be best. So what I just did, I kind of did it without explaining it. I took another piece of the yarn, the same color as the hair, and I'm going to loosely tie it here. Just put it in a knot. And then on the other side, turn it upside down so the knot's on the bottom. I'm going to take another strand of the yarn, thread a needle, a yarn needle, and tie a knot on the other end of it. If you've ever seen any of my other videos, I'm like the knot queen. I always put too many knots in. Okay, now right here where I have the loosely, I'm going to come through the middle of that piece of yarn, come up through the middle of this piece of yarn. This helps the hair to loosely stay together. Okay, so then I'm going to come forward to the front. And the key is to kind of come in through the middle of that yarn that we used to tie. I'm going to go forward a little bit. This takes a little bit of time, but it really helps to hold the pieces of yarn together. Okay, I know this is really random, but if you're looking at my fingernails, please forgive me. I did some gardening today, and even though I scrubbed my hands, I still have, just noticed I still have a little bit of dirt between my nails. Sorry, I don't mean to be gross. Okay, so as you can see, this can be a little bit time consuming. I'm going to come through here and then I'll finish that and come back to show you how it turned out. All right, here's how it looks after I've done that. I went all the way across and then I made a knot on the back side and cut it. Now this might sound crazy, but make a second one exactly like this. I'm gonna come back when I have my second one made. All right, I have 2 of those wigs, I guess I will call them. You're probably wondering why I'm showing you this doll, but I wanted to show you because when we put the wigs on, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy and that I'm doing it wrong, but I wanted to show you how it turned out on her. So this guarantees that there is also hair in the back. You know, she will have a full head of hair if you put it on the way I show you. I'll come back with directions on the wig. There are the 2 wigs down there. She has a little bit of hair from when I put the eyebrows on. I'd used the extra yarn and just came up the top of her head and let the strands come. I figured a few extra strands of hair wasn't going to hurt anything. So you're going to take one of the wigs, and I'm not crazy, this will work. You're going to put it on this way so that it's covering her face and the back of her head. This will be the hair for the back of the head. So I'll get it started and then I'll come back after it's fully sewn on. So I just come in and I just sew it on the seam to the body. Got stuck in her arm. There we go. I will finish sewing this on and then come back. All right, so now the hair is covering her face and the back of her head. I just take the hair that's covering her face and move it off her face. There she is. Okay, now the second wig, we're gonna put like you would expect a wig to be put on. In the front like this, with a part either going down the side or the middle between her eyes, whichever you would choose for her. So I'm gonna sew the second wig on and then I'll show you the final product. All right, both of the wigs are on and sewn on, and then I also trimmed the hair. And I'll show you in the back. It's nice and thick and full. And you could probably style the hair if you wanted to wear it different than just hanging down. And that's how you get the hair on her. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for some exclusive clothing designs for the Surrian doll. I will be posting them as soon as I can get them completed and get the videos in a completed form. And please subscribe, like, and share for more on Strings and Threads. Thank you.